Hello, this is Guadalupe Contreras, and this is part 9 from the other vids. What I was speaking about is the Lamont, California. And I want you to know that these videos, right, they're uncut, they're not edited yet, because what I plan to do with this here, I'm gonna do, say, like an experiment. Like, I'm gonna do all uncut videos, no editing or anything. Then, with my experience with doing the trailers and the film, small little clips, I'm gonna emerge everything that I had learned, from school and, the clips I make now, right? I'm gonna be using a DaVinci Resolve. And so that way, when I share this out, you're going to be able to see how it is, to make a clip that's uncut. See, like a blooper clip, right? And so instead of saying bloopers, right, it'll be a whole blooper filming video here. So that way that you'll see, the how it is, right? And then how it looks afterwards, with all the techniques and everything from the DaVinci film editing studio that I'm going to be using. And it's going to be pretty neat because then I'll be able to show step by step in a chronological order, that how to help somebody. Because I see it with YouTube videos, right? The way they teach somebody, everybody makes all these videos, say, hey, guys, great job. I'm not putting down anybody. I'm not, saying they're not doing any good. But when I go in there, right, and I try to learn from a vid, from somebody, their styles are all different. See, I have to learn like chronological order, right? Say for example, we're seeing that a person that has no training or understanding, how to use a computer, right, or a phone, or try to make a YouTube channel, you see, we can't use implications. Implications is, say for example, you get on here on, say, the computer you started on, then you tell the person when you're training them, right? Go to YouTube, make a YouTube channel, and all you gotta do is just go to, on the browser, right? And then, type in how do you make a YouTube channel, right? And that's it. It ain't gonna work, man. Because believe me, when I started school and computer, taking IT, software engineering, I sat there and I said, you know what, teacher, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Seriously. So to show somebody, right, it depends what kind of audience that you want. It's really good, to say, okay, this is for beginner level, right? And then intermediate, right? And then after that, for expert level, meaning, you know what I mean? So by making them kind of types of videos, it will help somebody learn or understand what you're doing. So this right here is going to be beginners, tutorial like, or, what I'm just saying here is that I'm going to make these uncut. They're all uncut. I did not edit anything, okay? Because then what I plan to do with these right here is that I want to show, all the uncut stuff, right? And then how, the DaVinci Resolve, studio editing is used, and it's going to show a step by step, real easy, real simplified for the beginner. And then there'll be like an intermediate area, and then there'll be like a professional area once that you're, at that level. And then too, I'm going to have a join, it's going to cost, because I'm telling you, it's costing me to do all these vids, the equipment and everything. And I know buying cheap equipment helps and everything, right? But then as you progress and you start to learn, you got to get other equipment, that is, so nice and so, professional. So, for example, you get the beginning equipment, right? And then you get the intermediate equipment and the professional, equipment. Okay, let's start right here, okay? And I'll let you know these stories, right? I'm just doing this, by memory, I'll make, some notes right here, right? And I'll put like, some key points, what I want to speak about, a theme, then the key points, right? And I put them in cluster grouping words. And then I'll have, a video on that right there, how to make, a little clustering, script, because it's best to do it that way, right? I see these experts, that are on YouTube, they use other terminology to what I'm saying. So what I'm just saying right here, when you want to make a script, right, and not read it like a manuscript, meaning word for word, right? Because you're gonna lose the audience. You're like, the audience is like, whoa, you want to fall asleep on you, right? They're gonna change the channel. They're gonna see your vid, vid short for video. So what you want to do is whenever that you make a script, I'll make a video on that right there, is that you make your theme, and then you make your key points, what you want to speak about, meaning the intro, then the body, and then the conclusion, right? And then, so with these in mind, instead of just staring at the whole thing, reading it word for word, you want to make the words in group clusters, and that way that you'll practice them before that you go on with it. I've been doing public speaking for the past 30 years, in my church, I'm a public speaker, and I got experience in, to this right here as well. That's why it looks, pretty good, not edited, because everything I'm doing, like I said, there's no editing in it, there's no editing. Everything is uncut, you see. And I'm doing this for, again, one purpose is to show you, how it is at first, and then to go in the after effect. How I, take everything, make it so simple with the Da Vinci, software. And it's going to help you out as well. Okay. So today on the vid here, Lamont, right? What I want to do is speak about whenever that we went to school, me and my family, the Contreras. I come from a very big family, and I'm not gonna say names, right? Because I don't want, anybody to feel I haven't, talked to my family. Most of them passed away already. It's really sad, And in time, I'll share, this video here with them, and see how they like it and everything, And I want to share that, whenever we were all going to school, let me see, the Lamont School District, right? It was so funny, it was in, what year was it? I think I'm going to tell you my age right here, you know what I mean? Oh man, I think it was in the 70s when I first, seen snow, I was at the Lamont Elementary Lamont School District. I think I was in the 3rd grade, right? Yeah, 3rd or 4th grade, I think. 4th grade, I think, yeah, his was Mr. Christian, he was my teacher. This guy, oh man, he had snakes in his class, you know what I mean? Oh man, Mr. Christian, right? So I go to school, right? I go to school, and I'll start back at kindergarten, right? My dad, for some reason, this affected me all my life, you know what I mean? And here it is, my dad, right? Always, he really did me hygiene, right? All the time, he took care of me. He cleaned me up. Every time I went to school, I went in a suit, Yeah, a suit that, that you take to church or something, right? Or, a suit that you go, a suit, a jacket, a tie, and a t-shirt, pants, and shoes, Kindergarten, here my, Guadalupe Junior Contreras, going to school in kindergarten with the suit on, playing in the sand, with my suit, you know what I mean? So dad, he always man comb my hair all the time, and up to today, my hygiene is, it's like, oh my God, I really take care of my skin, I eat healthy, man. Always have to, shower daily, products and everything is because of him. I remember the first let me see, cologne I smelled, and it was Aqua Fresh. Remember that old cologne, Aqua Fresh, back in the day, man? Then Brute, it was Brute, Aqua Fresh, and then Father, he put on me to Jovan Musk, right? It's hard to find that nowadays, I try to find it, I can't find it, or if I do, it's cut, you know what I mean? It's not full, because it wears off after a while, and I get so upset, man. I'll take the product back, Anyways, if you guys know where I could find it, the real stuff, the cologne, Jovan Musk, right? Just let me know, if they're in the comments. I would appreciate that, And anyway, so here am I in school, right? With the suit on and everything, and so, excuse me. Here am I in class right there, and I remember that we used to eat graham crackers, right? And then the paste, right? I used to like, I don't know, man. I used to eat the paste, you know what I mean? And so they had a peanut butter in there, right? And then after that, so we used to, take a nap. And I remember, back in the day, I used to take a nap in there. And the reason why I'm, saying these stories is because sometimes you want to like go back, see your roots and everything. I think in the old days, right, we would, see photos. Remember them black photo albums that we used to have with the black pages on it? Long time, I'm taking you back, All right. You know what I mean? And so, no, I'm just trying to check and see if the recording's on. Oh, thank God, boy, I've been talking 12 minutes. Okay, now, yeah, whenever that we want to go back, we would see the black album, right? The papers were black, and they have these black and white photos, You know what I mean? So it's something like that. I go back, every time over there, I go visit my sister, and I go back to all these places. Anyways, in class in school, I remember that they used to put us in like 2 or 3 kids, together like this, or 4, 4 of us, right? And they used to partner us off, a boy and a girl, And when they partnered me with my friend named Wendy, right? I said, wow, every time I see Wendy now, right, in class, she would come, and have, I could remember it was in kindergarten, my graham cracker, and we used to eat paste. I used to bring peanut butter, stuff like that. We used to go out together in recess, right? In recess, and play there in the sand, We used to be there always playing together, because she was my partner in class, where they would always pair us off with, 4 kids together. And then what you would do your homework together, and then what you would, do activities together outside in recess. And what's strange though, what's weird about this, there's a point why I'm saying this, because one day, it was sad, she had to move away, I don't know where she moved, that? And it was weird because she left, okay. The weirdness is this right here. I'm from Lamont, California, right? and now I'm living in Brooklyn, New York. And have you ever had a situation where that you meet somebody when you were younger, right? And in your older years, they come, and you meet them somewhere. Well, check this out. I hadn't seen Wendy since it was kindergarten, right? In class. And then what happened was I moved to Montclair. You know what I mean? And then I had been married, to my ex-wife. And this was in 1995 that I was at the Montclair Mall, right? And then I was there at the Apple store. And then I went to another store, clothing store, I think it was, right? And in there, I was, checking out the clothes and everything. And guess who came up and asked me if I needed help? Wendy. Yeah, I said, what the? I go, hey, man. I go, nah, I didn't say Wendy, man, because I looked at her. See, Wendy had red hair, freckles and everything, And I looked at her, and I knew that face. I ain't lying. You know what I mean? I knew that face, and I looked at her, and I go, Wendy? She goes, and she knew me right off the bat. You know what I mean, man? And I said, Wendy, is this you? You're from kindergarten, Lamont? She goes, yeah. How are you doing? We hugged each other, right? And then I go, yeah. She goes, so what's up, man? She goes, I don't know where to start, but all I know is that she goes, you know what? You got any graham crackers? I said, oh, man. And I was telling her, you know what? I was thinking of buying some today, you know what I mean? Oh, that graham cracker, right? I should call this vid, man, the graham cracker, part 9, right? You know what I mean? In fact, maybe I will, that. Yeah, in fact, I want to name it, meeting old friends, what I mean? I'll put that right here, man. Meeting, old friends, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I'll name it that, man. Anyways, so we're there, right? Talking, hey, how you been? Where you been at? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. We went on. I told her I was married, she, had a divorce, And then after that, you know what? And then I was, well, when you get married, right? You're honest to, what your mate, because I always was, man. Always was honest to her and everything. I could have took Wendy's number and just, but I don't want to do nothing like that to confuse her. But you know what? I met my old friend in kindergarten. You know that? And that was in, 1996, I think. And I hadn't seen Wendy, man, since kindergarten. You know that? That was a long time ago, but it was in the 70s, And so we caught up and everything, and I just wished her the best, right? And I don't want to, put in her mind, well, let's get together, just move on, but that was my old friend right there, And then speaking about the school, right? The school, it was, I think it was 1973, I remember. And I looked up in the sky like that, and then all of a sudden, I seen these white things coming down, like feathers, right? And I go, man, feathers are coming out of the sky, And see, at that time, it never snowed in Lamont, And I never seen snow. And then all of a sudden, because I went to, I had to go to the office from the class because they needed to talk to me about something. Oh yeah, my mom, she came to tell me, to get stuff, from the store after school, Yeah, it was to buy hamburgers, take them home, and then we're gonna eat Dairy Delight, because my mom worked like about so close. her work was next door to the Lamont School District Elementary, right? So she would come across to the office and check on me every now and then. Anyways, my mom, she was out. She goes, "Hey, look, it's snowing." I go, "Hey, Mom, see the feathers out of the sky?" She started laughing. She goes, "No." She goes, "No, son, it's snow." Snow? Because, see, I never seen snow before, right? You know, it's the first time I ever seen snow. And being in Lamont, right, it never snowed like that. It got cold, you know. It got down to the 30s, and we were all concerned, why is it so cold, you know, this wintertime, you know. So that was the first time that we ever had snow. And check it out, everybody came out of the class. They let us, all the kindergartners, the first grade, second and third and fourth graders, right? They let us come out of the class, you know. And it was there, right? You know what I mean? It was there where we all never seen snow, you know that. And it started snowing. It got, you know, thick, you know what I mean? It got thick and it started to come down, you know that. And then at the end of the day, excuse me, at the end of the day, right, it got thick on the grass. So the teachers, you know, had let us out, you know, to make snowballs and everything, and, you know, playing here with each other. So that day, they let us out almost all day playing in the snow, you know. It was a nice day that day, you know, that really nice, you know, that we were there, you know, being able to play out there, you know, in the snow, you know. But yeah, and then the other experience that, because I'm gonna make this 30 minutes, you know that, for this video here. I'm gonna put it 30 or 40 minutes. And the other activity I remember in our elementary years, we had a day for that whole week. It was called Play Day, right? And then so it was where they made like a mini, you know, mini elementary Olympics, they call it, right? You know, they would make give out trophies and ribbons, first place, second and third, fourth, fifth, you know. And they would have that there, right? So they had the relay, you know, track, you know, there. They would fix it all up. The whole school ground, right, was made into a relay, you know. They made area where, you know, to run the relay, and then the high jump. Yeah, they had that, you know. And then they had the running, long jump, right? They had that. You know, and then the steely, right, that heavy ball that you throw. I forgot the name, but steely throw, something like that. They had that right there. And then they had this other one too. It was called softball throw, right? Anyways, I didn't feel like playing in it, right? Because I wasn't really into sports. The only sports I did like was softball, you know, JBA hardball, right? Tell you the truth, I never did like it. You know, I just did it because my uncle, he was a coach, right? And he needed some kids to play, so he came over the house and he would bribe me, you know, if you go, I'm gonna buy you pizza, man, all week, you know what I mean? And I said, all right, come on, I'll go, right? The only reason why I didn't like to go with my uncle, because he would scream at his whole team, man. And every time, you know what, he would scream at me, man, I would throw the ball at him. I ain't lying. I told Mom, you know what, man? See, my mom taught us, you know, don't take nothing, man. Don't take nothing for nobody. You know what I mean? You know, my uncle, right? He was that way, you know. He would just scream at all the kids, you know. And it was Pee-wees, you know what? I remember the Pee-wees. Pee-wees had this stick and the ball on top, and they would hit it, you know. So I played Pee-wees, right? When he yelled at me, man, I threw the ball out in front of everybody. I hey, man, because it was like, you know, oh man, it was horrible screaming, you know. And my mom told him, you know what, you scream at my son again. And so she took me out of the game. That was there in front of everybody, in the middle of the game, right? She took me out, man. He goes, all right, I won't. And I go, no, Mom, forget it. And but I made sure he paid me though, man. I ain't lying, because I went to his house and I took his lawnmower and they would call me, "Who's taking my lawn?" I'm just kidding, man. Anyways, so we were in there in the play day, right? So here I am, and my mom she goes, well, play the, over here, because see, when they prepared it, right, the first week, nobody practiced for anything. You know what I mean? That first year, nobody practiced for anything. It was something new for the school, the school district made up, and they said, let's have a fun day. Let's see how this works. So the first week, so we had it for like a whole month. Yeah, it was a whole month thing, And they said, okay, for the first 2 weeks, it'll be practice for everybody. So we practiced it, and I just got the ball, just playing around with it. And that day, my mom knew that I didn't want to play. She was there, and I don't know. It's just, when I was younger, right, my motivation, it wasn't there, right, because there were a lot of personal issues at home. You know what I mean? It's just living in a real poor, town, and, your family's not well off, and it just, what it was too, we had a lot of negative, negative, mentors, that in school, and I'm not going to talk about nobody, these sort of mentors, you could feel the negative vibe, right? You know what I mean? And that's what was really kind of, getting to me, and I couldn't do anything about it, because I couldn't hit no teacher or anything like. Anyways, so I was just there, and my mom knew something was wrong, and then she goes, throw the ball. I go, Mom, so I just threw it, messed with it. So these guys threw the ball, right? And my mom, you know what? She knew how to make me mad. The mom just knew my buttons, man. And she told me, she goes, look you know what? Your hair is messed up and it doesn't look good today, and I wish you would have combed it. And see, my dad, right, how I said, remember, in kindergarten, he always combed my hair, and nobody touched my hair. That's just the way my dad, brought me up, being clean, especially the hair need to have, oil on it. And my mom, man, she touched my hair, and I go, and she goes, instead of, taking it out on her, I threw the ball so far, right, and then I got first place, man. I ain't lying, man. And Mom would see, I knew how to get you going. I go, what? Oh, Mom, you know what? And then I walked off, and they go, okay. And now everybody, it was because the softball throw was the last event, right? Everybody was there, I go, man, look at all these people, man. And so after that, I threw the ball, man. Mom made me mad. Oh my God. And after that, they this was see, because I didn't practice, right? This was the last week, right? Yeah. Well, I remember now, it was 4 weeks, right? And after that, I didn't know, see, they were gonna give out ribbons for us, man. I seen all the trophies and stuff like that. So I thought that was for maybe, some thing going on and everything. Because, see, we never had this. It was something new for the school, right, to have, And so when everybody started to line up and they made this, I was concerned how come they had built that stadium like that. And after that, so we all go sit there in the bleachers and everybody's there. And all of a sudden, man, they start, handing out, calling names out, And I go, and they go, Guadalupe Contreras. And I go, for what? For what? Mom, go up there, for what? You got first place in the throw. I go, what, they were handing out ribbons? And she goes, yeah, that's what I tried to tell you. I go, all right. And then they gave me a trophy, right? You know what I mean? They gave me a trophy, man. I said, what? All right, It was fun, man. Hey, but you know what? Speaking about that, check this out. My friend Bruce, right? Bruce, he was fast. Oh, man, the 50-yard dash. Bruce was so fast that he made it to the Olympics. And then, oh, my God, man, he made it to the Olympics. And then as we got older, right, as we got older, he was going to the Olympics, and my cousin, my cousin, he his last race where he was supposed to have, he had, right, his last race. He needed to only win that, and he would have went to the Olympics. You know that? And he was a marathon runner. He would run long, a lot of, miles, right? And he would train, where we used to live on Haybaker, that dirt road, right? My cousin, he would go to the canal, and just train, run in the canal, run around the canal, run around it like that, And how that happened, why he got so good at it, right, was that one time, not one time, that when the family went to work in the fields, right, the car broke down, and it was like about 4 miles, 4 miles, right, from the phone, because we didn't have cell phones in them days, the 70s, right? And my cousin, he would volunteer to run, from where they broke down in the car, because the motor, old car, you know how it is, right? They didn't have no AAA, to call, and the cars that the family had, they were very unreliable, Well, my cousin, he offered, right, to run, 4 miles, to the store, to use the phone, call, somebody, our next door neighbor, which was, the next door neighbor, which was, the cousins, call them up and then to pick them up. He used to run all the way back too, that? And it happened sometimes, more than once because of the car, And so, and he used to run a lot, for just playing around. He used to get out there, go to the canal early in the morning and run around the canal, And he got so used to it that it became a habit, right? So in school, whenever that we went to Myrtle Avenue, my cousin would just, for PE, he used to put on his trunks and they used to play relays and marathon, running, practicing for play day. My cousin, he used to, go, play that, and he would win, and it just went on. He went to Mount View Junior High. He won first place. He went to high school. He won first place. And then from that, he jumped from, high school going to the Olympics, And then, but here's what happened though. It was sad, he gave up after that, that I told him, bro, don't give up, man. Come on, man. You're the only one out of all the family, that could achieve so well. Not that could, but that will be showing, they're achieving something great, man. Well, here's what happened. I know, I know him. That if they wouldn't have tripped him, he would have won. I ain't lying. Because he had the records in Kern County, He had the records, that there was a record that he beat the records there. And everywhere he went, right, he beat the records. And then after that, what happened was he started to run. And you know how everybody starts to run, right? All together, right? The marathon and running. And he was going up there and everything. And then somebody just, went in front of him. And when they tripped him, right, he hit his knee. And he really hurt his knee bad. That? He just, oh man, his knee went out. Something about the cartilage, I don't know, but you know how most of the time when somebody falls, they get right back up, right? But it was so sad, and he came home, man, and he was so upset, he said, I quit, man. And after that, he just stopped running. you know, and I just, oh man, wow, it really hurt the family, you know, and I know it hurt him too, you know, because after that, you know, he never did anything in school or sports and stuff like that, you know, and but he just needed some, you know, mentoring and, you know, telling him everything's all right, man, you know, just get right back up. You fall down, you know what you get, right back up, you know. And you see, these stories, why I'm gonna tell these stories. And when I start to do the editing, right, and I'm gonna do some trader clips in it, put in transitions and everything, I'm gonna make this like a story movie, like, right? You guys are gonna really love it. And you know, I'm trying to find, you know, some old pictures and stuff of the family, you know, so I could do this, right? It's gonna be real, so nice, you know what I mean? Nowadays, with all the new technology, you know, we can make new stuff coming out, you know? I tell you, it's amazing, you know? With AI tools and everything, you know? So that's what I'm gonna do, you know, that this is uncut, it's gonna be uncut. You know, I'm just gonna keep it like this, you know, that way you'll see the before, then the after, you know? All right, you know, the whole blooper thing like that. But yeah, just on the other vid, right, I'm gonna speak about, you know, some more memories, you know, about Lamont, California. I always wanted to do something for this town because this town right here, it brought in thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people that worked in the fields, agriculture, right? And you know how we need, as humans, need fruit, vegetables, and everything right there, right? I'm going to speak about the pesticides, man, that went on in, you know, the fields that really hurt a lot of people and families and pregnancies and everything. And these people that worked there, the farmers, you know, the Spanish culture, Filipinos, you know, and then some Chinese I remember came in, right? And some Americans too were there, you know. From Oklahoma, right? But it was mainly, you know, the Spanish culture. Flamenco was next door. And then to the Filipinos, you know, they start coming in. These people gave a lot of, you know, back killing, hard-working labor, you know, just to get these fruits out for these farmers, these owners, you know that? And the paid labor was bad, you know. I'll be doing a video too. I'm gonna mark that down too about, you know, the huelga, right? You know, meaning that, you know, farm labor, no insurance and stuff like that, right? In fact, I'm gonna speak on that, you know, in the next video. Okay, and yeah, you know, it was a time, you know, that it was so hard, you know that. The huelga, right? I'm gonna speak it in a probably the next one right now, part 10. You know, I'm gonna speak with that right there. It was interesting because they didn't want to give, you know what, people that worked in the fields, you know, unemployment. You know what I mean? They said, no, well, this doesn't, you know, really be considered as a insurance job, right? You know what I mean? Right? But they were out there for hours in the hot sun, you know, and killing their backs, you know, out there 6 in the morning, planting onions, man, and then, you know, pulling the onions out, man, clipping them, cutting their fingers and everything. Where you got rats and snakes in the field, and it was so cold. Oh my God, you know what I mean? 6 in the morning, man. 40 degrees out, you know, it's crazy, right? I'm gonna get into all that, you know, the next vids that are coming up, and I know, you know, once you guys see this stuff, what you're gonna say, wow, you know, this is anthropology, you know, the anthropology from, you know, the Spanish culture and the people that, well, all the cultures that live there in Lamont, you know, and that's why I'm doing this, because I always wanted to give back something to our community over there like that. It was just considered to be a town. It wasn't considered to be a city, you know that? You know, everything is just, it's really sad, you know, that town right there. A lot of sport people came out of there that were very popular, You know, my cousin, he could have been one of them. He was on his way, you know that? And, you know, these special people, you know, that honorary people that came out of Lamont, California, but they just have not been heard of, you know? And that's what I'm going to share, you know, I'm going to share, you know, the sports people. There's a lot of sports, you know, people that went on to Arvin High. You know, in fact, there's some families called the Tavares in Arvin. You know that? They, one of them made pro football. Yeah, you know. Anyways, it's 40 minutes up, you know, and I'm going to close this, start the other vid, okay?